If you have a Polaris, Genesis, Virage, TXI, MSX, any of those that have that has the Fitch fuel injected, or it will say on the, probably on the cowling, on the hood, it'll say direct injection. If you have any of those and it's not running right, probably would crank, not idle good, and when you revved it up, it just wouldn't run good at all. If that's the case, the majority of the time it is because the fuel pressure regulator has fell off in the gas tank. And it is a very easy fix. I'm going to show you how to complete that fix the right way. So if you can blow air through this, then the fuel pressure regulator has definitely fell off in the gas tank. Even if you do a fuel pressure test and it tests 30 pounds of pressure and everything's good, I would still recommend taking this out and doing the proper repair on the regulator, because it is not if it will fail, it is a when it will fail. It's going to fail. So this ski, I have already taken this out, but you can see that I've already repaired it, and this video is definitely going to show you how to do that repair. And so I've already cleaned the fuel tank out and everything. Actually, I'm putting it back together now, but you'll see the repair in this video. A lot of people, even though they have good fuel pressure, they fail to do this repair and end up on a lake somewhere breaking down. So you don't want to do that. Go ahead and get it repaired. I would imagine, because I found this regulator in the had fallen off when I took it out, I would imagine that this is the problem that caused this ski to be out of business, out of order, whenever that took place, which is probably why it sat for long enough that the engine seized. Probably this was the first thing that went wrong with it. So if that had been repaired to begin with, that is why when you are trying to diagnose a problem, do the proper tests before you start tearing everything apart. So this was an easy, probably 15-20 minute repair. Now that we've verified that the fuel pressure regulator is in fact missing, I'm going to show you a detail of what it looks like under it. This, of course, is the sending part of the fuel pumps out here, and then this is the return. And the fuel pressure regulator is supposed to be mounted to the bottom of this return, up in here. I'm gonna turn the camera down and show you that little, let me see if I can get it focused just right. In that little hole right there is where the fuel pressure regulator should be, but it is not there. And if I can get my camera down in here, and right down there in the bottom is where it's at. And so I'll turn this over and it'll come out. So that is the resting place where it was at. I'm going to turn this over and shake it, and there's the fuel pressure regulator. Right there. So it is supposed to go, if I can get that just right, it's supposed to go up in that little hole right there. See if I can get it to, and of course it would be inside the tank right there. And so that is very loose, and it's not a very good fit. It was probably a good fit when they put it on in the factory. There's a small protrusion right there that's supposed to fit up in that plastic. And over time, the plastic deforms, gets bigger, and just from you hitting waves and this just going back and forth, it works itself out, falls down in there or falls down in the tank itself, either way. And the easiest way to fix it is to take this off, and it took a little bit of, I put some WD-40 around it just to break it loose from that rubber and make it come out easier. But then I'll take that hose clamp off and get that hose disconnected from it. So now that that's disconnected, this is all we need now. And this is the supply that you'll need from your local hardware store. It is a 1/4 inch NPT, National Pipe Thread, by 1/8 of an inch hose barb. And then a tap. Again, local hardware store, 1/8 inch 27 NPT. And so what we're going to do is just tap that hole out and thread the insert in, the factory fitting taken off, and the hose barb put in its place. All right. Make sure when you drill it out, I've already got this one drilled out, make sure that it is the return, the one that says R and not the one that says D. The one that says D is for displacement. When fuel leaves the fuel tank, air has to displace that fuel. And so that there's a valve that lets air into the tank, but does not let air back out. And so that's what that's for. So once it is drilled out, then you can tap it. Once you have the barb inserted, have a zip tie ready and a torch. We've got a torch ready right here. I'm going to heat up the barb a little bit and heat up the plastic a little bit so that I can fit that on. And while the plastic is still warm and pliable, I'm going to put a zip tie around it, tighten it down. Now that that's all on, it all goes back in there. And the finished product.